What's going on, Jerome's? So I understand that Kirk Cousins is probably the most polarizing player in Vikings franchise history. He got paid all of that money, Captain 500, blah, 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 only won one playoff game, etc., etc., etc. But we don't shy away from controversy on this channel, and I just wanted to say, you ain't seen nothing yet. But baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. And I think that we as Vikings fans have not seen the best of Kirk Cousins yet. I really don't. Like, even though Kirk is getting up there in age, and throughout his career, he's been known as the garbage time stat stuffing quarterback who has had very limited playoff success, has had a 500 career record, only won one Monday Night Football game, blah, 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 blah. I feel like the narrative will shift this year because I think Kirk is finally set up for success. They got all the weapons on offense in the world. They got Kevin O'Connell, an offensive-minded head coach. Wes Phillips is a bad mofo as well. So I think that they're going to be good to go. Because if you think about it, Kirk Cousins, the way that he's been set up. So first off, Mike Zimmer, who was obviously never on board with Kirk Cousins to begin with. And we talked about the friction between Spielman and Zimmer. I think it may have started with Kirk Cousins. I really do, because all of that assets allocated to the quarterback position where you could have been spending on defense. And of course, Zimmer's a Teddy guy till he dies. And I think that he really wanted to roll with Teddy Bridgewater, even though that knee, not so much. But because even though it sounds so weird, Teddy and his knee, Case Keenum, was he more than just a flash in the pan? Kirk Cousins was the safe option in 2018, even though he had a 3-year, $84 million fully guaranteed deal. It's kind of insane. But Kirk Cousins. So you had a head coach who didn't really want him in the first place. And I actually do think that when Everson was going off, ask them if he wanted Kirk Cousins. Ask him. Kirk Cousins' ass, thank you. I actually think that I think there was some inside info there. I think maybe Zimmer may have vented to Everson on the sideline one time. Like, I didn't want him in the first place. Face. Yeah, right there. Of course, we're finally watching film together last year. It only took you 4 years. All that. And then you pair it up with offensive coordinators like John DeFilippo in 2018. No, John DeFilippo was absolute booty because JDF was out here trying to show off and trying to get a head coaching gig. So that's why the Vikings had 5 and 7 step drops. That's why they were throwing the ball over the lot. That's why Zimmer had issues, because they certainly didn't have the offensive line for that. That's why Kirk Cousins is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league in 2018. And then you had Stefanski 1 year. I think that was pretty damn good. I think he and Stefanski worked very well together. And then Stefanski gets the Browns job, and then Gary Kubiak comes in, having offense and offensive accessories, being Hank Hill all in the bit. So he was fine, but whatever. Offense is a little bit outdated, yes. And then Clint Kubiak. So a kid who was learning on the job, we shall say, right? So the offense is very helter-skelter. Sort of is what it is. Now you enter Kevin O'Connell. That's head coach, offensive background, worked with Kirk Cousins before, got him paid working together 2017 Washington, and then the offseason 2018. Yeah. And he knows Kirk Cousins. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. He knows everything. So I think that the offense is going to be better than it's ever been at any point during the Kirk Cousins regime. I think even though Kevin O'Connell didn't call plays with the Rams, he called plays in Washington. I think that he will be the best play caller that Kirk Cousins has ever had in a Vikings uniform. And then also, you add in the fact that, so people don't like this comparison, but Matthew Stafford, right? Matthew Stafford, even though it was, don't go compare Stafford to Cousins. Well, okay, let's talk about things here. So Matthew Stafford in Detroit never won a playoff game. He was 0 for 3 in the playoffs, because that matters. He had a poor primetime record, and also he was known as the garbage time stat stuffing quarterback. Big time stats, throwing for 5,000 yards and all that stuff. Had Megatron, first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver, all of that stuff, all those things. But he never had success in Detroit. How come Stafford never got beat with the same stick like Kirk Cousins did? I was like, we can't get in that. Because everyone likes Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford's a dude, man. Don't get me wrong. But then Stafford takes his talents to the Rams. A lot of talent around him, as well as Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, all those offensive wizards. And guess what? They won a Super Bowl. Why can't Kirk Cousins do the same thing, right? Because the Vikings offense, minus interior offensive line, like, talent is not an issue. It isn't, but it's coaching, it's organization, it's all of that stuff. So now the Kirk Cousins finally has that, and if Chris Cooper, the pride of North Dakota, can actually get things situated on the offensive line, and if they can get a semblance of pass protection on the interior, Why can't Kirk Cousins do what Matthew Stafford did? I want to know. I want to know because a lot of people will push back on it, but they don't give a good reason why besides, oh, Stafford is not Cousins. No, Cousins is actually better than Stafford. I'll say it. I'll say it. Like I understand, like all these top 10 quarterback rankings. Matthew Stafford is suddenly a top 5 quarterback because they ripped off one Super Bowl. Okay, sure. What happened to this previous career? I want to know what the hell happened there. Doesn't matter. But either way, the Kirk Cousins haters, I understand. I fully understand. That's a lot of money thrown down the drain for whatever results so far, right? You know, one playoff win, yeah, touchdown Rudy in the Saints' face, right? But this year, it's going to be it. And I understand, being a Vikings fan, it's always talk about next year. It's like, oh, this is going to be our year. But actually think, give Kirk Cousins a fair shot because we're going to get the best of Kirk Cousins this year. And this offense has a chance to be extremely, extremely special. Top 5 offense, top 10 defense. Special teams doesn't kick us in the nuts. Jerome Barty, baby. That's right. But let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. We have not seen the best of Kirk Cousins yet. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Must support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, no production value.